Hello everyone, very good evening. I hope I'm audible loud and clear. Just give me a thumbs up if I'm audible loud and clear, if you're able to see my screen. I hope everyone I'm audible.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I can see we have more than 32. Okay. So everyone, thank you so much for joining the session, first of all. Okay, so let's start exactly the demo of the AWS. So first I'll introduce myself. Then I'll also show you some information about the why exactly AWS is more famous, or I can say why everyone is using the AWS. What is the different type of certifications that we have in AWS? And also show you the demo that how exactly we can launch one virtual machine in AWS. So that's the simple agenda for me. We have for next 30-40 minutes. And also, we also have a dedicated time for your question and answer because you join the demo sessions and you must have your lots of queries. Why AWS? What's a feature? What's a benefit? What's the advantage? What is the scope, right? If I complete some certifications, then whether I can expect some jobs or not, right? So you might have a different questions in your mind. So I'll suggest you that folks that please ask your questions, whatever the questions you have in your mind. Okay, once we have a Q&A sessions, right, start. So please do ask me, do not hesitate to ask the questions. So let's get started. Okay, I'm not, let's start it, not wasting much time. So let me first, okay, start, or let me take the opportunity to introduce myself. So my name is Amey Vaidya. So basically, I born and brought up in Nashik and currently earning in Pune. As you know that Pune is an IT city. Everyone, they came here for their dreams. I also follow the same. So I'm having more than 15 years of experience in the industries, right? So um, so till now I completed or I serve a different organizations, whether it is the Quick Heal, whether it is the college. Okay, so there are number of organizations till now I serve. So I'm having more than 16 plus years of experience in the industries. So mainly I'm the cybersecurity guy, and currently I'm also a working professional and also the freelancing training as well. So now the currently my job role is to implement these services on a different cloud products. So when I say the cloud products, it means it's the AWS, okay, Amazon Web Services, then Microsoft Azure, okay, then Google, that's the GCP, Google Cloud Platform, for the Oracle, OCI, and also for in China, the very famous, that's the Alibaba. So my job role is to implement the services. So it's like an architecture plus security. As you know that I'm basically from the cyber security. So main bread and butter is the security. And additionally, okay, I'm also deploying the services on the cloud product. So I completed number of certifications. For an example, I completed the Microsoft certification, Cisco certifications, Red Hat certifications. Then I also completed some non-technical certifications. That's the ITIL V4. And I'm holding the 5 certification for the AWS. So the associate, then professional, and also the the specialty certification I already completed. So okay, this is just a small introductions about me. Now, the next one here is that you currently join to the AWS program, right? So it's just a small demo where we understand what exactly the AWS is. Now, before we move to the AWS, right? Before we go to the AWS or we understand the AWS, now let me ask you a simple questions to everyone. Okay, now let's forget about the AWS or let's forget about everything. Now, I'll just ask a very simple questions to you. Now the question is that you can see on your screen. For an example, here you can see this is the Ola or Uber car. Okay, whatever your no, whatever you have, whatever is your favorite is. Let's say this is your Ola and Uber car, and now let's say this is your personal car. Now, folks, you can type on the chat that what do you think that what benefits you will get if you are using the Ola instead of your personal car. Okay. My question is to you, everyone. Let's say here you can see this is your Ola or the Uber car, whatever you prefer here. And this is your completely the personal car. Now, what do you think that what benefits you will get if you are using the Ola and Uber instead of your personal car? Now, let me start with me. Okay. So let's say if you ask me that what exactly the benefit, then my first answer is that we don't need to drive the car, right? So whenever we book it, that's it, and we just sit it, and that's it. We don't need to pay any. We don't need to drive the car. That's the first benefit that I'll get. So what do you think? What other benefits you will get if you are using the Ola or Uber instead of your personal car? Can anyone tell me on the chat? Okay, correct. So I got a message from the Yogesh that they save the money to purchase the car. So that's the correct. Any other folks? Money. Okay, obviously we are saving the money. So you are saying the money. Now what exactly it means? So here you can see that, okay, it's a completely pay as you go services, right? We are saving the money. It means what? Pay as you go services. Now let's say, now to install the application, this Ola and Uber on your mobile phone. Okay, I repeat, to install the application on your mobile phone, obviously you don't need to, pay any cost to the Ola and Uber. The application is completely free. And when the charge come to the picture, whenever you use some rides, whenever you book the ride, whenever you complete the ride, and then only you need to pay the charges. It means what? Whatever you have, whatever you consume the services or whatever the kilometers you travel, you just need to pay accordingly. Now, whereas here in the personal car, you need to pay the entire money upfrontly first. Okay, first you need to pay the money, right? Entire, and then you can use the services. And here in Ola and Uber, it is just like an pay as you go. You use the services and you just pay it. That's it. So correct answer, OnePlus. Sorry, I don't know your name. Oppo also, please rename. So I request everyone that please rename yourself so that I can take your name. Sorry, I don't understand who's Oppo and all. So I request everyone to please provide your name. That will be beneficial. What else, folks? What do you think? That's the two benefits. Do you know any other? Come on, folks. We have Anuja, Asavari, Atul, Bilal, Chetan, Chetna, Devajit. What do you think? Then we also have the Damodaran, Devjit, Dhiraj, Digambar, Aram, Gangadhar, Gaurav, Gauri, Kushal, Kirti, Lakshmi. I'm waiting for your answer, folks. Right. So thank you, Rajdeep. OnePlus. So Somnath say that no maintenance. Exactly. Now, folks, let's understand there are two type of maintenance, right? The one is your yearly maintenance. Now, when I say yearly maintenance, it means what? You need to go to the service station every after 10,000 kilometer completed or some 1 year or something. Now that is what? That is your yearly maintenance. That's a fixed maintenance. You will have to do it. Whether you use a car or not, you will need to have your maintenance. Second thing, you also have the ongoing maintenance, running maintenance. Now what exactly it means? For an example, let's say you're traveling with the Ola, let's say for the 5 or 10 kilometers. And in middle of the road, what happened? Your car got punctured. Your Ola car got punctured. Now that Uber driver never asked you that, okay, pay me the 50 bucks additionally. Why? Because you're traveling and my car got punctured. No, that's the Uber responsibility. That's the Ola responsibility. So it means what? Not only they will provide the driver, they'll also provide the pay as you go service, but the maintenance part is also taken care by them. But here in your personal car, right? The personal car, if you talk about, then obviously whether it is your yearly maintenance or whether it is your the ongoing maintenance, you are the sole responsible for everything. Good. Pratik, very good answer. Now what else, folks? You can ask, you can type. Can see there is a raise hand. Any other folks? Okay. So now let's understand the another benefits. So as I say that it's a completely pay as you go services, right? Then the no maintenance convenience, obviously. Thank you. Was this Chetna? Correct. Time saving, obviously, because why? It's available 24/7, right? Now here, another benefit is that, let's say today you're traveling with the one member, that you're traveling single person. So to save the cost, we book the mini car or the micro car, right? Why? Because our need is very small. Okay, we can adjust in a small or micro car as well. But now let's say if you are traveling with your 4 or 5 members, with your families, now obviously you need the bigger space, right? So that time the micro car is not sufficient. So you need to upgrade your car. So in the Ola and Uber, you have a multiple options from where you can choose the car. Let's say today you choose the Micra. Tomorrow you might need the SUV or sedan car as well, right? So there is a no any additional cost if you are using these Ola and Uber application. When cost to the picture, whenever okay you consume the sedan car, whenever you consume the sedan car, it means what? You just need to pay the sedan cost per kilometer, whatever it is. Day after tomorrow, right? What will happen? Let's say again you're traveling with a single person. It means what? Again, you don't need the sedan car. What you can do, you can degrade your services from sedan to your micro or the micro, or let's say your small car as well. It means it's an pay as you go services. We don't need to drive the car. It's a maintenance free, and upgrade and degradations is happen within a 1 minute as well. We don't need to pay any additional charge. And obviously the one of the biggest headache that we don't need to park the car as well. Whereas in personal car, as you know that the cities like in Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore, we have many issues where we will not get the parking space. So that's the Ola headache. And obviously the security part. So let's say you purchase the car, then obviously the security of your car is your own responsibility. Whereas security of the car, it's a completely the Ola and Uber responsibility. Now you may wonder that whether I joined the wrong class. Okay, because Ameya, you are currently talking about the Ola and Uber. Whether I'm in wrong class? So no, you're in the right class. Why? Because now, okay, here you can see. Now you can just compare this Ola Uber on this personal car. That's nothing but this one. Now this Ola and Uber is nothing but your AWS or any cloud. Whereas this personal car is nothing but your on-premises environment. That's my point, okay, to explain why I'm explaining the Ola and Uber. So see, as I say that if you install the Ola and Uber application on your devices, then there is no any additional charge. You will get an update, you will get an everything, okay, by default with the applications. The same thing here, Amazon AWS. It's what? It's a product. Okay, remember the AWS is the product. Okay, we are using or we will start the product training soon, where we'll understand about the entire AWS part. So now here, before we move to the AWS, first we need to understand why we are using AWS, why we are not using our on-premises solutions where we have a servers, racks and everything. So remember this servers and rack, first you need to purchase the entire cost here. Sorry, my bad. Let me clean. Sorry, my bad. So here you can see this servers and rack. First, you need to purchase the entire amount, right? You need to purchase server, racks, power cables and everything. Then again, here in AWS, it's a completely pay as you go services, because why? It is on the cloud. It's on the cloud itself. So in the cloud, it means what? You launch the instance, you can rent the virtual machines, and whenever you complete it, you can just format it or you can just remove it. That's it. Whereas you need to pay the entire investment. So the one major benefit that you will get if you are using any cloud product, that is CapEx turn into OpEx. When I say CapEx turn into OpEx, it means what? You don't need to invest any hardware on this capital. It means what? You have only variable expenses. It means what? Whatever the charges, whatever the services that you use, you just need to pay that charges only. That's it, nothing else. Then it is a completely maintenance free, because why? Let's say you have a maintenance in your server, you need to change your RAM, or you might need to change your hard disk, or let's say you have some power issues, you have some power cable issues. Whereas in AWS, there is nothing called the maintenance. Obviously, there we need to take care of something, but there is nothing called a hardware maintenance. Because why? Because it's a completely a cloud vendor. So they also have their own hardware, they also have their own power racks, they also have their backup. So all the responsibility is taken care by the AWS only. Then after that, okay, here you can say that upgradation and degradations. Let's say today, let's take an example, any example. Let's say you are working with the QA team, right? You are the part of the QA team, and you go to your system administrator and say that, hey, there is a ABC application and that I want to test in a Red Hat machines. Now for that Red Hat machine, I also need 2.4 gigahertz machines. Then I also need the 8 GB of RAM and 40 GB hard disk. That's it. Now understand, if you are using the on-premises environment, then it is very difficult to provide these specific specification, because why? Again, you need to go with the certain approvals in your organization. And once you got approval, then you can order it, and then you will get that specific machine with you. But in case of this AWS, you can hardly, it will take 1 minute to launch your EC2 instances. EC2 instances, it means what? That's the virtual machine that I'm going to show you after these sessions. Now, what happened is that you create a virtual machine in 1 minute and you can provide it. Now, again, that QA guy comes to you after 5 or 6 days and they say that, hey, Amir, as you're managing the system administrator, so now last week you provide me the Red Hat machines where you have the 8 GB of RAM, then you also have the 40 GB of hard disk. Now I want to test my application in 2 GB RAM. It means what? I need to degrade the hardware from A location to B, right? It means earlier I'm using the 8 GB of RAM. Now I want to use a 2 GB of RAM. Now, again, you can see that if you are using the on-premises environment, again, it is very difficult task for me to degrade or even though upgrade the hardware. But in case of the AWS, right, it's very easy for you. It's very, very easy for you to upgrade and degrade the hardwares. So that's the main benefits of the any cloud, whether it is AWS, Azure, or the GCP. I hope clear, folks, about the benefits, why we are using the cloud, because it has, we don't need to worry about any security feature. We don't need to worry about the cost, because we just use pay as you go. Upgradation, degradation is completely free. And also we don't need to worry about the maintenance that is taken care by the AWS. Make sense, folks? Any questions before we move to the next? Just give me a thumbs up if all okay. Can I expect the thumbs up, folks? Everyone? I got 1, 2. Come on, folks. Hardly it will take few seconds. Thank you, Yogesh. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Vijay. Other folks, is it good to go? Thank you, Chetna. Thank you, Sachin. Anyone? Thank you, OnePlus. Sorry, I don't know the name. My bad. Sorry. Thank you, Damodaran. Thank you, Rutuja. Awesome. Let's go ahead now. So just now, you understand the feature, benefit, and advantage of the AWS, right? Now let's understand what kind of the certification which AWS provide. Okay. So now here you can see AWS provide a different certifications. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'm facing issue. Just give me 1 minute, folks. I'm facing just little bit issue. I'm sorry. I'll just take you 30 seconds, not more than that. My bad, folks. Okay, it has been resolved. I was facing some issue with the headphone. I heard some echo. It's resolved now. So now, folks, here you can see here we have a total 4 certifications, right? The first one is the foundational. Second one is a associate. Third is a professional, and fourth one is a specialty. Now, here you just understand we have a different type of certification which AWS provide. Can you please mute yourself, Mayuri? Would you mind to mute? Thank you. Thank you, Mayuri. So now here you can see we have the foundational, we also have an associate, we have a professional and the specialty as well. Now let's say you are completely, let's say fresher, you don't have anything knowledge about the cloud or AWS is alien for you, right? Now what? So you can start your career or you can start your the certificate or AWS journey with the cloud practitioner. So remember, as I said, this AWS is what? That's nothing but a product. We are into the product training. So AWS offers certification of that specific product. So cloud practitioner, it means it's just a basic information about the cloud. What is a cloud? What is a different type of cloud? What is the different type of the cloud services? What is a feature, benefit, advantage, and some basic information about core AWS services like an EC2, IAM, S3, etc., etc. So actually, now here you can see the solution architect certification is one of the important certification, or I can say it's a backbone of the entire certification. And that batch we are going to start soon. So now the solution architect associate, it means what? It's design, manage, and planning. Now what exactly the design? Design of the entire architecture, design of the planning, how you can plan. It means you have deployed your application on the AWS. So obviously after 6 or 7 months, your application grows. And the moment application grows, obviously you need some compute services, you need some planning as well. Okay, because obviously the application grow, you also need to add some more capacity for your application. Then management. So obviously as an architecture, it is also your duty to manage it, because as an architecture, you are the one who prove the ROI. That's the return on investment, because you are the one who save the cost to the company, and you are the one who can prove the resource utilization, whether you have a resources which is very high utilization or very low utilizations. So that you need to prove. So in architecture, it's cover the entire backbone services in very deep. And obviously if so as I said that you can start your career with the architecture, but Ameya, you just say that you need to, the cloud practitioner is a basic. So don't worry, we are also covering everything about the cloud practitioner here in the architecture. So if the AWS or the cloud is alien for you, you don't need to worry about it. Everything we cover. Then once you understand the architecture, if you want to go with any other certification, it's very easy, whether it is you go for the professional or the specialty. In associate, you have a total 5 certification. That's the system developer associate, sysops administrator associate, data engineer. Now, developer associate, it doesn't mean that it tell you how to code it or how to write the code. It means what? How you can help your developer to write the code or build the code or to deploy your code. So there are some different services which cover under the AWS associate. SysOps administration. Now SysOps administration, it means what? The completely administration task. Because in AWS, you need to have the repetition deployment. You need to have the continuity deployment as well. So the SysOps administration is talked about the repeatable deployment, then how you can manage it, or the troubleshooting of the entire AWS. But before you go to the developer SysOps, you need to understand the architecture one, because as I say that it's cover the entire core services of the AWS. Then we also have a data engineer associate. In data engineer associate, what happen? In data engineer, you can understand about the data analytics. Then you also understand data engineering. You also need to understand the database management. Everything you will get in a data engineering. And the machine learning. So currently it is in the beta. So so within a 13 August, after 13 August, it will launch the exact new version of machine learning engineering associate. Earlier, there was a separate specialty certification about the machine engineering learning, but now they retired this machine learning engineering certifications from the specialty, and they add some basic one in associate. That's the machine learning engineering. Then if you go to the advanced, then you have a professional as well. So you have a two, no, so if you want to cover or if you want to attend this certification, then at least you have minimum 2 years of experience. Why? Because this solution architect foundational is one of the top 5 hardest exam, right? So for example, the CISSP or CISA, and also the solution architect professional, these are also one of the top, I can say, hardest certification, and it has a very high value in the market as well. So that's the reason AWS suggests that you must have the 2 years experience before you attempt the exam of the solution architect. So this solution architect professional is the next level of the solution architect associate. And the DevOps engineer professional, it means what? That's the mixture of the sysop administration and the developer associate as well. So again, it's a next level. Here you need to deal with a very complex environment of the AWS. So that's the reason it has a very, very highest, I can say the priority. If you have this certification in your CV, then it's in just in the having the, I can say cherry on the top in your cake. And the specialty, let's say you want to mix, you want to let's say you're already working with the networking, you're already working with the security part, then you need a specializations. So how you can do the specialization? So you can go with the certification. So we have advanced networking specialty, we have machine learning specialty, and we also have the AWS security specialty. So this security, machine learning, and advanced networking, it is related to the only AWS, not for your on-premises environment or any other tool. So here you will understand about the tools related to the networking, machine learning, and security. So Amay, you said that you can start with the solution architect, right? So yeah, as I said, yes. So it is not a compulsory that first you need to go with the foundational, then you can go with the associate, then professionals and specialty. No, here what you can do is here you can jump to anywhere, right? So for example, me, if you talk about me, I completed the solution architect associate first. As I'm from the security guy, then I directly jump to the security. That's the security specialty, right? So first, this is my first certification. Then this is my second certification. Because why? Now the reason is that as you know, that this solution architect professional is one of the toughest solutions, and my bread and butter is on security. So after completing architecture, I directly jump to the security specialty. And after that, okay, here you can see, then third, okay, then third, I completed my solution architect professional. And then fourth, I also completed the DevOps engineer professional. And the last one, which I completed recently, that's the data engineering. Okay, so that's my currently 5th certifications, which I completed. Okay, so I have these 5 certifications, so you can jump to anywhere, right? So if you want, if you don't want to give these much certification, because obviously it involves the cost, right? So you can directly go with the certification. But let's say now one of the Kelpu, right, he said that I want to jump to AWS advanced networking. You can definitely go it, but before that you need to understand the basic information about the AWS. For an example, Kalipu, let's say you are using the Instagram application, right? And you installed it, you saw the first time Instagram, right? You cannot directly go to the reels and you can start working on the reels. First, you need to understand the UI, from where we can upload the photos, where we can upload the videos. Once you're familiar with the entire UI, then you can start working on the reels. That's the process. So same thing, what you can do, you can complete the training of the solution architect, and then you can jump to any certification. So let's say you have some budget. Let's say I don't want to give the cost to the AWS about the certification. So what you can do, you can complete the training, and then you can complete the training of this, and then you can attempt the exam. There is no issue, because in my organizations we have many folks in my team who has just completed the security certification only. They don't have any other certification, but they have a prior experience of the AWS, or they know what exactly the EC2, what exactly the networking databases, that you need to understand. Because let's say networking, but what networking? Okay, because in AWS you have a lot many concepts that you need to understand. I hope you understand it. Thank you for, okay, great. Any other question, folks, before we jump to the next? Now I'm going to showcase you a demo where we can start one virtual machine. Any questions? If everything is okay, just give me a thumbs up, folks. So I'm not a trainer where I'll just speak. Okay. I need the interaction from the both end, from my end as well. I'm giving my 100%, and from your end as well. So if you have any questions, you can please ask me. Yes, Rahul. So there is a pros and cons of the every product. It's not about the AWS. It's also about the Azure as well, GCP as well, and anything. So if you talk about me, the benefits of the AWS, now the AWS, the main benefit is that it born directly into the cloud, right? So in 2006, where AWS born, they directly start into the SaaS-based model, software as a service, where you just need to access the URL and you can log in, provide your authentication, and you can use the services. They directly born into the cloud. Other product like an Azure, GCP, obviously GCP is in late in the market. They adopt the technology of the cloud, right? So born into the cloud and adoption of the cloud, these are the two different things. So AWS is one of the, or I can say it's the first company who introduced such a service into the market. And that's the reason they have a market share into the entire world, except China. So in China, there is a hardly 7 to 8% of the market shares in the China of the AWS, and rest of the market share is about the Alibaba. Because why? Because they have their own compliances. They have some set of rules which AWS non-compliant in. Then so there are many pros, but we have some time limit. So I'll tell you answer in the short. So obviously there are also disadvantages as well, because the reason is that sometimes the cost is higher at the AWS if you compare to the other product. So in any company, it's not like that you have only AWS. So most of the organization, they follow the multi-cloud technology, or multi-cloud, where their A service is in the AWS, B service in the Azure, and C service in the GCP as well. And for the combination, they are using a different applications as well. So there is a long list, but this is just one of the few answer which I can give. Make sense, Rahul? Okay. Clear? Yeah. Thank you, Rahul. So now, folks, okay, we have a 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. I hope if you extend the time, will that okay find you? Is that okay with you? If you extend another 5 minutes, just give me a thumbs up. If yes, if no, just go show me the thumbs down. Is it interesting, folks? What do you think? Just type interesting or boring or something, whatever you feel up till now. So till now, okay, I'm talking from last 40 minutes. What do you think, folks? Is it interesting? Thank you, Ashfaq. What about other folks? What do you think, folks? Thank you, Kirti. Thank you, Somnath. Hey, Chidna. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay. Thank you, Vijay. Awesome. Okay. Now let's make more interesting. Right? Now, what exactly I'm going to do now? Thank you, Gangadhar. Thank you. Thank you, Kelpu. So now let's say the main backbone of the service of the AWS is a virtual machine, where we can launch the virtual machine, right? EC2 machine, and we can play around it. Now, what exactly the virtual machine? So it's like a building block. It's a part of infrastructure as a services. So when we start a syllabus, I'll explain you what exactly the infrastructure as a service, what is a platform as a service, what is a software as a service. That's a different story. But I'll just want to showcase you how exactly we can launch a virtual machine and how exactly we can create a web server within a few seconds. So that I want to show you. EC2, it's a virtual machine. Okay. Now for an example, you purchase a flat, your own flat. So in the entire building, builder just developed some building blocks, right? It's the same everywhere. So 1 BHK is same, 2 BHK is same, 3 BHK is same. And once you purchase the apartment, right? Once you enter it, then you start working on your home. Okay, whether you want TV unit at here, whether you want bed here or sofa set or anything, right? It means what you can customize it the moment you purchase it. The same thing here, EC2, it means what? That's nothing but a virtual machines. We are going to launch a virtual machine in the environment. And let's say I want to create a virtual machine for my own web server. Okay, so that now I'm going to launch one Linux virtual machine, and under that I'm going to deploy one web server. So now let's see how we can do that. So now I'm going to start the virtual machine. You can see the EC2 ones. And now I'm going to launch one virtual machine. Okay. Let's say I want to launch one machine. I'll say it's a Linux web server. I just gave the name. This is just the name of your virtual machine. And here you can choose what exactly you want, whether you want the Amazon Linux, whether we have Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat, or what. So here, if you browse it, you will find more than 47s of AMI, different AMI, whether it is Amazon Linux 2, Mac OS, Red Hat also, and SUSE as well, Ubuntu, Debian, Microsoft, everything you will find. Now, some of the operating system you have, let's say SQL. Okay. So some operating system, it's pre-built with the SQL server. Some of the operating system is only blank operating system. And when I say blank, it means only operating system, nothing else. So these are called the AMI. That's an Amazon machine image. Now, Amazon machine image, it means what? That's nothing but a templates. So let's say I want to launch the Linux machine. Let's say one Linux machine. Let me change my region. It's a bit slow. Just allow me 1 minute, folks. So these are called regions. We'll explain later on. I'll just start myself. Let's say web server. Okay. And I'll just say that this is, I want to use the Linux machine. Let's say you can also choose a different one. Okay. You can launch a latest one. You can also launch the previous generations as well. So you can choose accordingly as per your requirement. I launch it. And now here you can see these are the compare instance type. Okay, you can see these are T2 micro, T2 nano, T2 medium. Now when we launch the machine, right? So just now I gave one example that let's say you have some member who is a part of the QA team, and now he want a machine, right? So he said that I want Red Hat machine with 2.4 gigahertz and some 8 GB of RAM and 40 GB hard disk. So it's not like that in AWS, you can manually provide the information that, okay, I need a 4 GB, I need 8 GB, or I need a 40 GB hard disk. So here you can see that these are the instance type, right? So these are the instance type. Let me show you the instance type here. So now see here, you can see these are a different categories of EC2 instances. All right. Then we also have the type of instances. It means if you choose memory optimize, then here you can see in memory optimize, you have a different type of instance. Now why they here you have the different categories of instance, because every categories, they have some mottos. For an example, let's say you want to buy a laptop. So let's say you go to the shopkeeper and say that, hey, I want to buy a laptop. And you said that so obviously the shopkeeper person asks you that, okay, we have a number of laptop, but can you please tell me your requirement? What exactly you're looking for? What is your use case? So the boy say that, hey, I want to play a game. Okay. Or I want to play a very high graphics game, NFS and all. So he said that, okay, we have a separate categories of the gaming laptop. Okay, so he show you a special gaming laptop which is designed. Okay, so there are HP laptops and some Dell where they have a graphics card, right? So which is because if you want to play some high graphics, you need if you want to play some high graphics game, you must have the graphics card inbuilt. So they will show you, and obviously the cost is also different. Another person comes to the same shop and he'll say that, okay, I want to purchase a laptop. Again, he'll ask that, okay, what exactly the use case? So he said that, hey, I just want to use my laptop for the daily purpose. I just want to run some PPT. I just want to run some videos, photos. That's it, nothing else. Obviously, now the use case is different. So he can go with the HP EliteBook or Lenovo or something, right? Because the need is different. So if that person who say that I want to just use a PPT and video, and if they are trying to install high graphics RAM, obviously their hardware is not support, right? It means what? It's an overuse. The hardware is not supported. Obviously, if they are, and let's say he installed the game, the application won't work properly because the hardware is not supported. It means what? We are using the overutilizing that hardware. Now the boy who purchased the laptop for the game purpose, now what will happen? Now the boy is using the laptop only for the video purpose. They watch Instagram video, they watch some YouTube video, and that's it. It means what? It's underutilization. You have invest a big money, but you utilize only for the small working purpose, right? So here we have a real life scenario. So in the corporate environment, you also have, or you also require a machine for the website application, development environment, QA environment, ML, machine learning, and so on, right? So there are a number of use cases. So now this memory optimize is designed for these use cases, right? So let's say you have some real-time bigger data analytics. Let's say we choose this one. What is exactly the use case? So here you can say the use case. Let's say HANA, Radius, databases. If you go to the compute optimize, you also have again the different use cases. So you can use the AWS for the different use cases purpose. So it is not like that you can launch a single machine, you can launch a multiple machine, and every machine has a different use cases. So I just choose this one, default one, T2 micro instances. Okay. Now how you can authenticate it, right? It means what? Obviously, I'm going to provide this machine to someone and he's going to access the machine. So how exactly he access the machine? So for that, you need to create one key pair file which provide the authentication. So let's say I'll say sample authentication file. So here you can see the key pair is RSA, right? Travis Shamir Adleman. And here you can say ED25519. These are different encryptions. Okay. And these are the extension. I just choose this one. And then here, okay, what exactly you want? What is the use case? I'll say that this is my HTTP server, right? So I want to access the instance and I also want to allow the traffic which is related to the HTTP. So I allowed it. Here, how many the EBS, for example, hard disk you want? Let's say I want 8 GB, that is more than sufficient for me. So I mention it here. And now here, in advanced details, what I can do is I can just provide the script. It means what? This is a part of automations. Now, when I say automation, it means what? Now, as I said, I want to create one EC2 instance where I need to create a web server. Now, if you want a web server, then if it is Linux, then I need to install Apache. Or if it is if it is Windows, then obviously I also need to use IIS. That's the Internet Information Services, right? So what I need to do is first I need to launch the instance, then I need to deploy the instance. I mean to say deploy the Apache, and then I configure it. So instead of that, right? Instead of that, what I can do is I can provide some script, right? So using script, what we can do is we can directly deploy everything, right? That's called the automations part. So let me provide the script here. Okay, so now I just provide a script here. So I just start the script. I install the operating system update. I install the Apache. I start the service, and I'll just make sure that every time my service is start. So this is a Linux command, which will also guide you on the live class as well. Then we go to the directory and we just create one specific website here. Okay, so this is my just single page. So this is for only for the demo. We have a large page in the corporate world, but just to give this some feeling that how exactly we can create a web page. So this is just my web page. I'm here, and what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to launch the instance now. So one virtual machine is going to start, which is a Linux machine. You can start many machines, whether it is a Windows, Linux, or anything. So let's wait for the few seconds. As I said that you can launch a virtual machine, you can upgrade the virtual machine, you can degrade it within 1 minute. So it will not take more time. Hardly it will take few seconds. So it's launching now, and soon it changed the status from instance state to the running now. So let's wait for a few seconds. So you can see it's running now. And let's AWS had some health checkup, whether they check whether they have hardware and software is working fine or not. Hardly it will take another 30 seconds. Let's refresh it. And now soon here you will get 2x2 check. So for an example, here you can see the status one. It's going to launch. It's initializing and everything is ready. Then we can access the machine as well, and we can also access the web server. Let's wait. So whenever we launch the instance, we will also get the public IP address, and we will also get the private IP address. And here you can see all the details. So whenever you launch any specific instance, you will also get some unique identification. So this is called the instance ID. So whenever you launch the instance, you will also get the different unique instance ID. Like we have a MAC address, we also have a IMEI number. The same we will get it. Let's wait for another 30 seconds. Because T2 micro, it means what? It's just an 1 GB of RAM, right? So obviously it's in slow. So the moment you choose a higher one, you save a lot of time as well. So my instance is running now. And now I just copy my public website or public IP address and check in the browser whether it is accessible or not. And here we go. You can see my web server is ready within 1 minute. Can you try to access this specific IP address and let me know whether you are able to access it or not? Everyone, quickly, please. Everyone, quickly. I have pasted the IP address. You can just type these IP address on your browser and just let me know whether it is working fine or not. Can expect a reply, folks. Everyone. Kushal, Hiranmai, Harshal, Gauri, Mayuri, Prachi, Somnath, Vijay. I can see Shashi. Are you there, folks? Can you try it and let me know whether you are able to access it or not? If you can just give me a thumbs up as well. Hey, Wang. Yes, let me know. Yes, it is accessible, right? It's globally accessible. Thank you. Right. So it is accessible to each and everyone, right? It's a global one. And how you can access it? So you can just choose this instance and connect it. And I can just say connect. And here we go. This is your virtual machine, Linux machine. So you will get a UI only for the Windows machine, and you will get the CLI for the rest of the operating system. So if you want, you can deploy the UI on the Linux machine as well. And now you can see that you can play around it. You can deploy anything. So this is how exactly you can launch a virtual machine within a few minutes, I can say. Clear, folks? Any questions? So now I'm open for the question. That's the small demo that I want to show you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it is interesting. So now I'm open for the questions. So we have a 10 minutes for the questions. So please let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer those questions. If you don't have any questions, if everything is clear, just give me a thumbs up. If everything is okay.
Hello.
Yes, Somnath. Hi.
So I'm new from AWS. Just I want to ask that we have that AWS agreement. So we need to license, or like you are using that you have one application we have, or any database, or any a particular small establishing some into cloud. So first time, so whenever I'm using, so did it any license related, or what is it? I don't know.
Okay. So see, if you want to deploy some databases, let's say MySQL, okay, NoSQL, right? So AWS, it's not like that you need to install the specific application. Let's say you want to install your own firewall. Okay, let's say Palo Alto firewall, right? You can see in marketplace, you have a different firewall. Let's say your organization using the Palo Alto network of firewall, or let's say some next generation firewall. So if you deploy here, then it work on a BYOL scenario. That's in bring your own licenses.
Okay.
Right. So you can use it. And here you need to pay to the AWS for the whatever the per hour or monthly charges, because you are using the compute service. And yes,
Like
if you want to deploy the databases, let's say MySQL databases you have. So you can also
like
manage
a
the license from there as well. Sorry, you are saying
like
something.
like a tenant or rental retail, right?
Correct. Exactly. You can
Okay.
rent out the servers for that time.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Yeah. Any
Thank you.
other questions, Somnath?
No, no, thank you.
Okay, great. So just give me a thumbs up if everything is clear. I'm open for the question, folks. If not, then we can wind up for the day. Shruti, do you want to say something? Anything here? Shruti or Ankush, do you want to say something?
Yes, sir. Wind up. Thank you.
Okay, folks. So thank you. Thank you for joining the sessions. I hope you enjoy the session. Please do provide us the feedback. Okay, for more information, you can also contact our salesperson. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Enjoy evening, folks.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and happy weekend to everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, Ashbak. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Shashi. Thank you so much for your compliment. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Ashbak.
Hi, sir.
Yes, I'm here. You
Please
can.
end me.
Okay. I'm just waiting for the. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me in. Thank you.